So this is Chapter 5, Section 1, Part 2. This box is going to help us determine our end behavior. If our leading coefficient, which is this A out front, the number out front, if it's positive, our graph always ends going up. If the exponent is even, then they go in the same direction. So then we'll have up and up or down and down. So if it's even, it goes in the same direction. If it's odd, it goes in opposite directions. So just think odd means opposite directions. So we'll either have a down and up or an up and down. So the order matters here. But the leading coefficient, this number out front, if it's positive, it will always end going up. End up. So let's look at our examples on this side. So we have y is equal to x to the fourth power. Is this x positive or negative? Positive. It's positive. So is our right arrow going to go up or down? Is it going to end going up if it's positive or down? It ends going up. So our right arrow is going to be up. And then is 4 even or odd? Even. So are they going to go in the same direction or opposite directions? Same direction. So our end behavior of our graph is going to go up and up. So you can just use the arrows. You don't have to use words. You can just put two little arrows up and up. Now let's look at our next example. Is x cubed positive or negative? Positive. So what does that tell us about our right arrow? Up. Because it's positive. And then is 3 even or odd? Odd. So are they going to go in the same direction or opposite directions? So what's our left arrow going to do? Down. So we have down, then up. So always helps just by writing the right one first. All right. The bottom left example. So is our function positive or negative? Negative, because that's negative 14. So our leading coefficient's negative. So what does that tell us about our right side of our graph? It's going to end going down. And then is 6, our exponent, is it even or odd? It's even. So are they going to go in the same direction or opposite direction? Even means same. Even is same direction. So is the left arrow going to go up or down? Down. So we have down and down. Now let's look at our last example. Is this positive or negative? Negative. And what does that tell us about our right arrow? Down. And then is 3 even or odd? Odd. So odd means same direction or opposite direction? Opposite. So what's our left arrow going to do? Up. So we have up and down. This one here? Yeah. The 14's negative, so the right arrow goes down. It's even, so they go in the same direction. So if the right one's down, the left one's down too. Any other questions on these? All right, let's go to the next slide. So the last page, we only had one term to look at, but sometimes we have more than one term in our polynomial, but we always look at the leading term. So that's what tells us what our end behavior is. So first thing we need to do is put this in standard form. So what would come first in standard form? Awesome. 9x to the 10th power, because 10 is our highest exponent. What would come next? Negative 17x to the 7th power, and then what would be last? 5. So you always want to put these in standard form first. Now we need to look at just the first term to see what our end behavior is. So is this positive or negative? 9 is positive. So what does that tell us about our right arrow? It goes up. And then is it even or odd? It's even. So our arrow is going to go in the same direction or opposite direction? Same direction. So we have up and up. All right, last example. First thing we need to do is put it in standard form. So what comes first? Negative 9x to the 8th power. What comes next? Negative 6x to the 5th power. And then what's last? Negative 3. So which term do we need to look at to tell us our end behavior? The first one. So we're just looking at this negative 9x to the 8th power. Is it positive or negative? It's negative. So what does that tell us about our right arrow? It goes down. Is it even or odd? Even. So it's the same. So we have down and down. We ignore everything else behind it. We're only looking at our first term. So it's important that you put it in standard form first so you know what your first term is. Everything else doesn't matter.